Good afternoon. Welcome to this open session of the full-time MSc program here at Nijrode. Thank you for watching. Even though we cannot host you here on our beautiful campus today, we hope to give you an idea, an overview of the main features and information about the program we are offering you here on the campus. Of course, hopefully you have many questions and we are able to answer these questions in this session, and also after 6 o'clock we have a session on the administration, on the admission and the application procedures done by our admission officer Christo. That will be after 6 o'clock. Before 6 o'clock we have our session on the program itself. I can imagine that these are uncertain times about if you talk about the coronavirus, and that these uncertain times relates to companies, to people, and also to universities clearly. And I can imagine how difficult it is for you in this situation of having all these exams online, problems with the internships, and uncertainty about the next step in your career. And hopefully, although we cannot give you a full flavor of what is happening here on campus, we can give you information about the program here at Nijrode. And that may help you in your orientation, in your choice of the next master program. Clearly, we have an option for you to raise questions. You can raise these questions via the chats, indicate your name and also your educational background, because that helps us, that helps Amber and Milou, our program advisors, to give the reply, and certain questions will be discussed here at the table with the three of us. My name is Heiko Ebbes. I'm Professor International Economics. I teach courses like International Trade, Globalization and New Economic Powers here at Nijrode. I joined Nijrode in 1991 and in 1995 I did my PhD here at Nijrode and became also Professor of International Economics with a focus on China and on emerging markets. As you can see, I'm not alone in this room at this table. I'm here at the table with Lina Haring. She is our senior manager of the program, and Ilke Hellendoorn. She is our current MSc student. I think this would be my introduction. Lina, can I give the floor to you for your introduction?
Yes. No, thank you, Heiko, and welcome everybody who is watching online. It's a pleasure to meet you this way, and in the coming hour, indeed, together with the three of us, we will be talking about the program, about the courses, but also about the personal development and the career development program we have in place within our full-time MSc program. So welcome everybody, and we will continue very soon.
Very good, thank you. Ilke, can I give the floor to you?
Yeah, of course. My name is Ilke. I've been here since August, started my pre-master, and I'm now in the second block. I had my first block of offline classes, and now the second block has been given online. And before this, I studied hospitality management in Breda, and then I worked for about 2 years before I started here on Nijrode.
Okay, thank you. After this short introduction, I think it's time to introduce Nijrode. We have a short video and we will come back after the video.
Nijrode Business Universiteit is in 1946 opgericht voor en door het bedrijfsleven. En kenmerkt zich van oudsher door een sterke internationale oriëntatie. Nu, bijna 75 jaar later, zijn we een plek waar werelden samenkomen. We slaan een brug tussen de academische wereld en het bedrijfsleven. Tussen wetenschappelijk onderzoek en de praktijk. En tussen beginnende studenten en ervaren alumni. Wij geloven dat een stevige basis ieder mens tot grote hoogtes kan brengen. Die basis vind je op Nijenrode, in Breukelen en in Amsterdam. We combineren academische theorie, praktische relevantie en persoonlijke ontwikkeling, zodat jij succesvol aan jezelf en aan je carrière kan bouwen. Nijenrode is een brug naar jouw toekomst.
Okay, that was the introduction of Nijenrode via this video. I think it creates, or it gives you a feeling on the main elements you may expect here at Nijenrode. It is about personal development, soft skills. It's about the alumni network. It is about the core values of Nijenrode: leadership, entrepreneurship, stewardship, and of course it is the three-pillar concept of the study, the campus, and of course the student association. We are sitting here for a special reason, and that is the coronavirus. Otherwise, we would here having this meeting face to face. So I think it's worthwhile to have a sort of overview how the coronavirus has an impact on the courses here at Nijenrode, or in particular my course or my courses, and how Nijenrode is engaged in the discussion on the coronavirus. Already started in the early February. Before handing over to Lina, talking about how the coronavirus will have an impact clearly on the program itself. So allow me a couple of minutes to elaborate a little bit on how we are dealing with the coronavirus in our programs. Now, if you look at the courses I'm teaching here on globalization and new economic powers and international trade, it is a combination of economics and, I would say, international business. And if you talk about economics and international business, automatically the coronavirus comes into action if we discuss that today. If we talk about economic growth or economic development, it's clear that the coronavirus has a huge impact on economic development in the Netherlands and also outside. If we are talking about global supply chain issues, clearly there's a disruption of the global supply chain through the coronavirus and crisis. If we talk about international trade and foreign direct investment, of course there has an enormous negative impact of the coronavirus on these issues. And the same counts on if we talk about strategic flexibility of companies. Now it becomes clear which companies are really flexible enough and which companies are really able to handle the uncertain, non-controllable economic environment. And only the most adaptable companies may survive. And of course, an element we also discussed in New Economic Powers is the country image, so the soft power of countries. And it is clear that nowadays, if you look at South Korea and China, they are managing the coronavirus and the impact in a very different way as what we see in Russia and in Brazil. So I would expect that also the soft power of these countries, China and South Korea, will increase with all kinds of linkages to companies. So that is, I think, how automatically the coronavirus is being implemented in all the courses we have here at Nijenrode. The second element I want to elaborate before giving the floor to our to Lina and to Ilke is that already in our press release of February 2nd, so 3 weeks before we had the first corona detected here in the Netherlands, we put on paper how the coronavirus would impact the Chinese economy and indirectly the Dutch economy. And at the end of the day, we made clear how we are doing how you should do the analysis, looking at consumption, investment, export, and so on. And of course, the government is very strongly related to that. So what is the impact of the government intervention in the economy to help the economy? And and if you look at that issue, then at the end of the press release, we made clear this is our analysis, but the outcome is unclear. And you could label that as an open door. And of course, it is an open door. The outcome is unclear. But what I want to stress here is that we don't give you the answers in our classroom, but we will give you the critical way of thinking and the tools to analyze. So at the end of the day, the outcome is not good or bad or positive or negative, but it is clear how you come to your analysis and how you come to your conclusion. I think that is becoming even more important even in this coronavirus period, because that is helping you analyzing what is happening, the impact. So that is according to the link you can find between the coronavirus and the teaching method and the format. Let's give the floor to Lina. Lina, can you indicate how the program is being affected by the coronavirus?
Yes, of course. First, I want to mention that the content of the program will not change. The curriculum will stay the same. Also, the dedicated professors who we have lined up for you will stay the same. So that part will definitely not change. However, of course, the format and the structure of the program will be impacted, and like the rest of the world, currently we are already offering our lectures online, and step by step we are opening up our campus as much as the government allows us to, and in August we are looking at starting with the programs here on campus. However, it is important to say that the format of delivering the program will be blended learning. And what do we mean by blended learning is that it will be a combination of online lectures and sessions here on campus in smaller groups. So it could very well be that if you choose your location be Amsterdam, that you will be actually following a bigger lecture online, and then in smaller groups you will be coming on your location with your professor and with your classmates to discuss the topics that you have heard about and which you have prepared in advance to the classroom session.
Yeah. So if I look at my course, that would be in combination of taped video, of streaming video, of using Teams, and also here face-to-face in small classes, working together with students.
Exactly. That is the setup, and the advantage of such a setup using blended learning tools is that students really come to prepared. They have done the homework, they have watched your lecture, and they have done the reading, so there can be a really good interactive session in a smaller group with your professor, perhaps with you, Heiko, to elaborate and go more in depth in the subject itself.
Okay. Ilke, so it is blended learning from August on.
Yeah.
Now already we have a sort of blended learning in the sense that we are combining all these streaming videos and Teams work and group work.
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit on what your feeling is about how we are doing it at the moment in terms of the online teaching?
I think for me personally as a student, a lot of things have changed over the last couple of months. Of course, everyone was living here together on campus and now everyone is at home. But Nyenrode has done their best to continue with the curriculum and to offer all the classes online. Mm-hmm. So for the last block we have had 2 lessons online, or 2 lectures actually. And next to that, all group assignments and feedback meetings have all been going online. And normally we would have started on our next block in May or in June actually, but now that has been postponed. So we will actually be starting on our thesis in May, and by doing this we still have the chance to have our offline lectures at the end of the year. So we'll be starting with our thesis in May, and then we still have some more lectures at the end of this year. Yeah. So it's all a bit mixed up, but by doing this we still have the possibility to graduate in February instead of later.
So how are you handling your stress because of all these new circumstances for you?
Yeah, it was very tough to get used to in the beginning, but now everyone had to change because of the coronavirus. Of course, no one expected this. I think after a while everyone got used to it, but of course we will all be very happy when in September we can go back to at least partly offline classes.
Yeah, that would be also your preference to do that.
Yes,
of
definitely.
Course. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. You are not the only one, I'm sure. Okay, so I think this is more or less the introduction and the coronavirus impact on what we are doing here. The next step in the program is a little bit more information about the program itself, the master program itself. And of course, Lina, you are the person who can elaborate on that best. What can you tell us in terms of features and the format of the program?
Yeah, the format of the program is the following. We will start with the pre-master program for the students who need that. We will attract students with very diverse backgrounds who have already obtained their bachelor's degree, some at the university level, some at the professional education level, and those students especially will enroll into the pre-master program. The reason we offer a pre-master program is to allow all those students with different background to come to the level that is really required to enter the master program. So they will be introduced with courses like finance, business statistics, marketing, so really the foundation courses of business administration studies. Once they successfully complete the pre-master program, the students will enter to the master phase, and to start off in the master phase, they first follow core courses, which they follow with the whole group. Mm-hmm. And then after 2 months, they will actually be divided, or they will choose their specialization track, and they can choose between 3 tracks, which they then can go more in depth in the area of their interest.
Yeah. So after the first general block for all the tracks, you are specializing. And then, of course, also we have the thesis period.
Yes. So after 2 months, students either choose a global business track, where you are also involved, or a digital business and transformation, or financial management track. And they will have courses with those professors for about 2 to 3 months. And after that, they also, or actually already during the track, they will be given the research research methodology in business administration, and they will also make a kickstart with their thesis topic, also finding a thesis supervisor, and then indeed the last months of the program will be allocated to the thesis.
Yeah, so they have classes in their own track, so small groups. Can you indicate how many students on average we see in all these tracks?
It is about 50 students in each track. In Amsterdam next year we will be organizing the global business track, and in Breukelen the other 2 tracks, digital business and financial management track, will take place. So you can keep that in mind as a student when you're watching us now, when you make a choice for the location as well, knowing that if you choose Amsterdam, you will definitely have a place in the global business track. However, it doesn't mean that you cannot come here to Breukelen to follow the courses in the financial management track, of course. Yeah. But you would need to travel then between the 2 locations.
Yeah. Ilke, you choose for the global track.
Yes.
Can you give us? Can you indicate to us how that? What do you expect? What were your expectations? And what would you advise students selecting this track?
So yeah, the reason I chose global is mainly because that was mostly my interest. If you're really looking for a more digital experience, you want to learn about digital things or more about the numbers and about finance. But I chose global because this is what I like the most. What I expected is to learn more about the internationalization of companies, about how everything is moving in the world. Yeah. And that's mainly coming back during actually your course, the New Economic Powers course, about emerging economies, about the movement from developed economies to more developing countries. And next to this, we have a second class, which is called entrepreneurship. So that's really more about starting your own business. So we formed groups of 5 people, and then we can actually come up with our own business idea. So you're writing a business plan. That is also the eventually there's no exam. You just have to write a business plan and come up with an innovative idea, and the teacher's helping you make the idea better. So it's very innovative and creative, which is a lot different than the other course. So it's nice that these two have been linked together. And next to that, we have started with the company project, on which Lina will touch upon later, and started with the thesis, of course. And we've had the research business administration, which helps to prepare for the thesis.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of different aspects, actually, but the two things that are linked to the global course are, for now, entrepreneurship and the new economic powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear this, that these are complementary in terms of how we are dealing with the two courses. I still remember that when we talked about the global track and what should be inside in the global track, we decided to choose for new economic powers. And the idea is that according to us, according to Nijrode philosophy, the world is changing so much towards emerging markets that it is not only interesting but also essential to talk about the world in which emerging markets are leading. And indeed, in the class about new economic powers, we indicated that in 2030, which is only 10 years from now on, we see that 65% of the middle class will be in Asia, and that China will be bigger than the US, and that in the next 10 years, the fastest economic growth in all these countries in the world are in emerging markets. So in that sense, it is a new world in which you as student will enter, which is a world in which we have emerging markets, new customers, we have new competition, new rules, new governments, and that is precisely, I think, the essence of the global track, that you are able to see and to analyze how the world is changing and how companies should act in that. Another element of Nijrode clearly is the more practical issue on how we put the more practical issue in the courses. You already mentioned a couple of these practical issues, but can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yes, I think that mostly relates to the professors that we have here at Nijrode. You can clearly see that they all have not only academic experience but also business experience. So that helps a lot with the practical relevance. And we also have a lot of guest lecturers coming here at Nijrode, telling about their experience, about their profession. So that also makes it a lot more practical than just hearing a professor speak about his academic knowledge.
Yeah.
And then we relate that back to real-life companies like business cases, where we have to write our assignments about. For example, last semester I had to write a paper about Ryanair, about their strategy. So it's very practical related, which is really nice.
Yeah, yeah. So if you summarize the elements regarding our MSc program here at Nijrode, it is a combination of soft skills, the core values, leadership, entrepreneurship, stewardship. It's a three-pillar concept: the student association, the study, and the campus life. It is meeting the CEOs. It is working on a business plan. It is personal development. So all these elements are already felt by you as current student, and I'm sure they also are felt by our alumni. Welcome back. I understood that we had a small technical problem. I was introducing the video of our alumni. These are our alumni of MC 18 and 25.
Hi everyone, my name is Juri de Bruin, and it's my pleasure to share with you my journey that I had at Nijrode.
My name is Shabeli de Kom and I started Nijrode in 2009. I graduated from the financial management track in 2011. I'm
very, very happy with what Nijrode brought to me. I'm benefiting from what I got to know there, the challenging environment, challenging studies, and challenge in the student association.
So, what did I learn at Nijrode? I gained a lot of theoretical and practical knowledge. Theoretical knowledge is when you have the lectures. Practical knowledge is when you work with the team on a case study. And this is really when the knowledge comes to life.
Performing my job is also really thanks to that time, because handling stress, pressure, time management, it all reflects back to that time, how I structure, put priorities, see what's very important, what's urgent, and focus on those things.
Nijrode really helped me to set a strong foundation. At Nijrode you have different courses aimed at, okay, how should I present myself and be the best me, but also how to be persuasive.
Very remarkable as well is the network of Nijrode. Wherever you are, whenever you approach someone that did the same study as you, they're always open to talk with you, and they're always open to share something and to give something back, and that's very rewarding.
You have your study. Next to that you have the student association, the committee work that you're doing, and you have the social and campus life. Combining those activities and balancing it, planning it, is a valuable lesson that comes in handy later in your working life.
I personally only can recommend to go for this university, because it gave me a big advantage and a very fast move in my career until now.
Okay, welcome back. I hope you liked the video. And that is closing the session on the program itself. And let's now move to the career opportunities and the career perspectives. Please, if you have questions to us, make sure that you send the questions via the chat. We will discuss the questions at the end of this session, and in between also Milou and Amber, they will reply on questions you have, and not only the question itself, but also indicate your educational background, so that we know a little bit the context of your question. Now let's move now to the career perspectives. We made clear, hopefully, that it is about that Nijrode is also about soft skills. It is, of course, working in terms of the core values, leadership, entrepreneurship, and stewardship. We also emphasize clearly the soft skills. And Lina, can you indicate how you, as a program manager, or how PM, program management in general, is trying to assist the students in their career perspectives?
Yes. There are two things that we do. We also have a career development department here at Nijrode with qualified career advisors, and they will assist our students within the personal leadership and career development program that runs parallel to the academic program. What they do is that they actually, together with the students, they design a personalized career planning. So they will really look at where somebody stands at, as we get students who have no work experience whatsoever, but we also have students who have already worked for a couple of years. So they look at what does the student need to help them in their career path. Somebody is really in the need of making a CV, so they offer workshops on the CV writing, cover letter writing, so really practical skills. And next to that, they will have with the students career conversations where they zoom in further on personal interests and career ambitions of the students. So that is what the career development department does. Next to that, we also have a company project. Mm-hmm. And there also the three core values, leadership, entrepreneurship, and stewardship, come to place. What we do there is that students are allowed to choose one of the streams focusing on one of the values. So for example, in the leadership stream, students are linked to big corporates such as Unilever, DSM, Albert Heijn or Ahold Delhaize, and these companies provide the students with an actual business problem that they are facing in this period, and groups of students will link to those companies, go to those companies, take interviews, observe what is happening, and they will give advice to those companies. So they actually do a consultancy project, and at the same time they are building up their network. They will get a lot of feedback as well as from the company coaches, as Nijrode coaches. So there's plenty of time to reflect on their abilities. They will also get feedback from their group members. So there's plenty of room also to develop their leadership skills throughout those projects.
Yeah.
And there's also an entrepreneurship stream, and I think that Ilkka will later on tell a little bit more about that, as she has chosen that stream, so she knows exactly what's happening there.
Okay, and this career development perspective, that is starting in the main phase directly, or is it in the tracks that it is starting?
The sessions with the career department already start in the beginning of the master phase indeed, and the company project itself starts when the tracks also start, because what we want to do with the students, or we want to encourage students actually to form groups across the 3 tracks, so that although they are following their own track, they can also learn from their peers and also use the knowledge that their peers are learning in the other 2 tracks. So we really encourage students to make very diverse groups.
Okay, so you are working in a very diverse group now, Ilkka.
Well, actually I am, yes. So we have a group of 6 people, and we have, I think, 1 finance student, and then 3 digital and 2 global students. So it's a mixture of people together, and that's really nice for the entrepreneurship stream, because we're starting a business together, and then you need, of course, aspects from different sides. So the entrepreneurship course that I was talking about before is really writing the plan and all behind scenes. And this is really about starting the business, so talking to investors, giving a pitch, improving your product, and really bringing it to the market. So it's a whole next level of starting your own business.
Yeah.
And that's especially for people who want to start their own business later on. It's really nice to prepare.
Yeah. And working with finance students and marketing students, is that challenging, or is there a big difference between the students from the different tracks?
No, I think it's actually very nice, because we've worked together before, of course, during the pre-master and during the first block that we all had together. Then everyone went separate ways during the second block, and now during the company project we're all brought together again. So I think it's a nice way of seeing what people have learned in their different tracks and bringing that all together into the company project.
Yeah. So that's the company project. We also heard from Lina that we have this career development
the peer coaching
process.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that?
So during the peer coaching, we're in groups of, I think, approximately 8 students, also indeed from different tracks. And that's more focused on your personal development and what people want to do after their studies. So we're linked to an alumni, and that person helps us to see what we want to do after Nijrode. So not only through the personal conversations that we have with the CPD team, but also with the peer coaching, we're seeing where everyone is going and if we can help each other with what we want to do.
Yeah. There's, of course, we also have the thesis period. We already talked about that. We changed the program slightly in the format that we put the thesis more in front instead of at the end of the program. You already selected your thesis topic?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the preferred topic that I would like to choose is the influence of Corona on purchase intentions. So I think, of course, the whole crisis brings up more subjects that can be investigated. And it's also a very interesting research that is going to be linked from May until February next year. So because we have a longer period for our thesis, it's also interesting to see what the perspective is like in May and how the situation is going to be like in February next year.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very interesting topic in times like this.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe some final words for your company project. Do you want to
Well, I think
elements,
the stream that we haven't touched upon yet is the stewardship stream. So you have leadership, which is really focused on the multinationals and writing a consultancy report. Then the entrepreneurship is really about being innovative and starting your own business with investors. And then the last stream is about stewardship, is about sustainability. And seeing how businesses can be more sustainable, and also writing an advice report to a company. So I think the most important part of the company project is that it's really practical and business orientated, and that it's not only from your own lecturers but also from people from the business world that's going to help you.
Okay. I think we have a video on the company project.
Today we had our first glimpse at the group company project that we'll be working on in the next year. We saw some previous presentations and just got a taste of what it will be like.
It is about personal development. It's about working together in teams. It's about giving and taking feedback and applying this and the academic knowledge they get within Nyenrode in a real life situation.
Through the community gathering, we have learned of the stewardship and the leadership and entrepreneurship. We also apply this theory into our cases, into our program.
When I see Nyenrode students, I think they have this entrepreneur in themselves, and I think we can really use that at Lidl.
Today it's the finals. I hope that for you this really brought you skills that you can use if you step on into your real working life.
We try to cooperate with Arcadis in order to find something to add value for them to facilitate their mission to enhance sustainability.
We designed a special Excel tool for Shell in which they were able to see like in one look where they were in a project and to put several projects together in one sheet.
Okay, welcome back. The video explains more or less the different phases of the company project. And this is closing the session on the career perspectives. Let's move on to the student life. Of course, in our campaigns we always indicate our 3-pillar concept. The study, the campus life and the student association. We think it's a 3-pillar concept. So I wonder, Ilke, when you choose for your next master or your next study, why did you choose Nyenrode?
I think what makes Nyenrode really special is the campus life and the student association around it. Personally, when I first came here, I didn't expect it to be this intense, to be honest. But I haven't regret coming here for a second. The whole campus life around it makes you develop a lot more than just doing the academic lessons and the academic challenges that arise. It's the commissions that we have. We have 44 commissions at the NCV. Yeah. So organizing events, organizing trips. There's a lot that comes to mind when looking at the student association, and also looking at campus life. We're together 24/7, so not only studying together, but also eating together, partying together. It's very intense, but it's also very nice. So that's one of the main reasons I came here, actually. Yes.
Yeah. I can imagine how busy it is with all these committees and all the study and all the elements regarding the campus life. How busy it is. Can you elaborate a little bit on your schedule of the week? So what is, how can we get a picture how your week looks like?
So it's a lot different now, of course, in Corona because campus is empty. But if I look at, for example, the pre-master, it was very busy because we had a lot of classes and of course, it's also different if we look right before an exam week, the library is full, and that's also the moment that you motivate each other to study and not to hang out in the bar every night until 5 o'clock. So that's also what you really notice, is that we help each other and we motivate each other to get the best results. But if I look at a usual week, we have classes during the day, we have group assignments to work on in the library. Then we go to campus. If it's nice weather, we can have a drink at the rostrum together. We eat together, and then at night, of course, always the bar is open. So during the week we have the Zolderbar, the Kelderbar, sorry, and then during the weekend we have the Zolderbar. So there's always a place to hang out with your friends, and this is also a way that you really connect with each other. I think it's impossible to see like the first month you've been together so a lot, and that you connect with each other. It's a special level that you
Yeah. And how many hours of teaching do you have on average in the week?
During the pre-master it was a lot more than now, actually. I think we had 4 classes in total per block, 3 to 4 classes, but I would say around 20 hours per week. I don't know, Lina, if you know more about that.
Yeah.
But it's also a lot of home studying, of course, that you have to do, and group assignments. So it's not only the classes itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a reason that we put so much emphasis on classes, physical classes? 20 hours a week is quite a lot. Do we have why is that?
I think that 20 hours relates indeed better to the pre-master phase, and the pre-master phase is very intense. It's relatively short. In about 4 months period, students acquire the foundation or the basic knowledge of all the business courses which they lack from the previous studies. So pre-master is really intense indeed in the hours, the contact hours, like we say, classroom hours. Later on, indeed, it's a little bit more time for independent preparation, reading and class preparation, and less contact hours as such.
I always have the feeling that I'm teaching. I know that the students may hopefully learn from me, but I also see how students are learning from each other.
Yes.
So that also these classes are very important to have this experience. Is that also your feeling, that you learn from
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
That's also what I now notice during Corona times. Normally, when we have a question or we don't understand something, there's always someone around that understands the topic or the question that you have. So it's very easy to approach each other and to help each other out. And I think that definitely contributes to the learning experience as well.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier to study. And next to this, learning through the committees, it's also something, if you organize events, it's next to the academic program that also makes you develop yourself.
Yeah, and that's also your choice for Breukelen, in the sense that it is more than the study.
Yes.
In many aspects. Were there other elements why you choose specifically the Breukelen campus as your preference?
Well, for me personally, I was living in Kampen next to Zwolle first, and I had been working for 2 years. I had my own apartment, and to go back to, for example, student life in Amsterdam, having to find an apartment was for me personally a step too big. And here, a room is arranged for you, and the whole experience around it just made it better for me than the Amsterdam choice.
Yeah.
And also, of course, the beautiful surroundings here, made it nice when I came here. Because first I was still doubting, because here it's going back to student life, and I had already been working for 2 years. So I was like, do I really want to go back to being a real student? But then when I got here, I was sold.
You felt as a real student.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. I always have in my class, I always talk about the preconditions for success, whether these are companies or whether these are countries. Of course, you as program manager, Lina, you also have a sort of feeling what you need to survive here, the Nijrode study. Huh? So what are the preconditions for success if you look at students' characteristics and drivers and so on?
Yeah, when you hear Ilke talking, I think you hear how busy a student can be. combining everything, the academic program, the campus life and the committee. So definitely being in charge of your own planning and not only making the planning but also really sticking to the planning that you make as a student. But next to that, we are always out there looking for entrepreneurial students who can cope with change, who are resilient, who can take the feedback and actually do something with the feedback they get from the staff, from the professors, but definitely also from their peers, as they do live so close to each other here in Breukelen campus, and in Amsterdam they meet each other in a classroom. So students who are proactive and willing to change and open for their own development.
Okay, that's a clear message, and you can prepare for that clearly. Ilke, of course, you indicate we have this beautiful campus and we have our three-pillar concept. But what are the main challenges in terms of the preconditions for success? What are the main challenges for you here on campus to be successful?
I think that's mainly managing your time. Because of course, like Lina said, especially during the pre-master, you also need a lot of time for your study. So it takes a lot of, I would say, dedication to make sure that you do really spend time on your studies and make sure to pass all of your classes at once. Because I can tell you that if you pass all of your classes in the pre-master at once, it will be a huge relief instead of having to do the classes again a year from then. So I would just say work as hard as you can on the first few months. And then in January, there's more time for personal development in committees through the CPD program. And then it's a bit more relaxing. But the first few months are quite tough.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we can have a final word on the NCV.
Yes. So the NCV has 44 committees. And we also have, it's not only organizing events, like we have a festival, we have a gala, but it's also sports. So probably any sport you can think of we have here at campus. So there's boxing, there's golf, there's rugby, hockey, soccer, pretty much anything. And next to this there are a lot of committees that help you to develop yourself, like Ondernemend Nijrode, who's focused on organizing more challenging events with guest speakers. So there's so many different things. We have a ski holiday that we organize together. There's the ROTC, it's a sailing trip. But I believe there's also a video that explains more about the NCV. So if I can now introduce the NCV video.
Welcome back. Ilke already indicated the campus life and the NCV here in Breukelen. You saw it on the video, but clearly we also have a student association in Amsterdam, the GCV. Lina, can you elaborate on that?
Yes, the full-time MSc program started 2 years ago also in our location in Amsterdam, situated on the Keizersgracht, so really in the city center of Amsterdam. And along with the program also immediately, entrepreneurial as they are, the Nyenrode students, they also started up the or restarted, I would have to say, actually, the Student Association in Amsterdam as well, JCV, as you already mentioned. It is a much younger association than here in Breukelen. However, several committees have been set up there as well. Perhaps the focus there is a little bit more on international students as well. There are many nationalities who choose to do the program in Amsterdam. So there is an international committee who helps our international students to get acquainted to the city of Amsterdam and find their way around in their studies, but also definitely in their city life.
Yeah.
And the association is growing. It's only 2 years old, so many new committees, I am sure, will be created in the coming years as well.
Yeah, it's always very, very nice to be in Amsterdam, to teach in Amsterdam, because on the one hand you see these are Nyenrode students, and at the same time you see this is an international setting in the heart of Amsterdam's city center. So and it's good to have this separate student association.
Yeah, and not only the student association, but also with Amsterdam comes another network that students can build up during their studies. So they will meet some businesses who are situated close by, but also they meet startups that are based in the incubator that is in the same building in Amsterdam location. And stronger even, students themselves can pitch their idea to get a spot, to get an office place in that incubator. So it is a really vibrant environment as well, and you can feel the entrepreneurship, one of our core values also every day in Amsterdam.
Yeah, that's also what I feel if I teach there.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this will close the section on the student life. Now we have a very short, only 1 or 2 minutes in terms of application, because Christo will take over later on. Lina, just to make a sort of introduction on the application procedure, please.
Yeah. So to qualify to become a student in the full-time master program here at Nyenrode, you would need to have a bachelor degree already. You will need to take an entry test, LTP or a GMAT test, and following on that test result, there will be a selection interview with the candidate.
Yeah.
And I would also like to introduce a short application admissions video starting now.
Do you need to take the GMAT or the GRE test to get into Nyenrode?
Well, you can. So if students already have a GMAT or GRE, they can submit it for the application. But we also offer our own admissions test, which I believe you also took, right?
Yeah, the LTP.
Yeah, and the Nyenrode LTP is more like a professional assessment, so a combination of IQ and a personality questionnaire. How was it for you to prepare for the test?
It was pretty stressful, but in the end it all worked out well. I suggest that you just look up some online and just keep practicing to help you out and to make sure that you kind of know what the format is of the exam.
Okay, welcome back. We have now the question time. Thank you for having the questions and to put the questions on the chat. Milou and Amber, they indicated the questions for me on these cards. I think it's best to read the questions loud, and then to ask Lina or Ilke to respond on that. Lina. As you indicate, there's now a blended learning structure here at Nyenrode, or it will be there from August on. Is there a big difference with the blended learning structure and how the program was originally structured in the pre-corona times?
It is a good question, thank you. Yes, the biggest difference I think is that also our professors and our faculty will need to adjust to the new structure and to the new teaching methodology. So also they will have to redesign, and not content-wise, but redesign their courses in a way that it can be given in a blended way. Because blended way means not only live streaming. Blended way means also having short videos instructing students how to prepare for the classes. Stronger even, sometimes students, and that is what we call flipped classroom sessions, sometimes students are asked to prepare the class. So students get a clear assignment to prepare a class, and actually instead of a professor, they will be giving the class with the professor being present to direct them in the right direction and to take questions on a deeper level. So the difference is there, and especially also that it requires a lot of effort and time to redesign the way the classes are given from our faculty as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The flipped classroom session and the blended learning structure. And that relates also to the card here. Is it still possible to apply for the program? Do we have still room? Do we have still? Are we still hoping and waiting for students?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah? Okay.
Absolutely. And the person who asked that question, please apply. Krista will tell more about how you can do that.
Yeah. Okay. If I would be younger, I'm sure I would make that decision. But okay, I'm too old for that. Ilke, is it required to live on campus, or can you travel back and forth?
So when you choose for the Breukelen location, it's actually really necessary to live on campus, because when you choose for Breukelen, you also choose for the campus life. I think currently there's only one student who's not living on campus. If you're not looking for the student life and moving to campus, then I would really suggest you to choose for Amsterdam. You still have the network, but not the full student life that's here. But yeah, everyone who is in Breukelen is also living on campus.
Yeah. So you can say it is not officially required, but it's highly recommended to stay on campus if you choose the Breukelen campus. Okay. Now you already talked about the pre-master. Very intensive. And there's a question about the pre-master. Is the pre-master at Nijrode perceived as difficult by the students?
I think it really depends what background you have. For me personally, I studied hospitality management, and many courses that I had in the pre-master were also giving, during my bachelor, were also giving in the pre-master. So for me, it was just going further into depth on certain subjects. For me it was doable, but I think for some students it was quite challenging. But it also depends for yourself how proactive you are, how much effort you take for it. But if I look at my pre-master, I still had enough time for the NCV and for everything around it, so I would say it's doable. If
you look at the success rate of the pre-master, can you elaborate on that? So how many students will not pass?
So the pre-master, many times we have said, is an intense program. Students will have to complete every course with an exam and successfully complete the course with an exam. They will, however, have 3 exam opportunities to do so. So there is a final exam, retake exam, and should a student after retake exam still be with an insufficient result, they will have a second retake opportunity to still pass the course. And success rate, I would say, based on the last year's experience, about 3 to 5% of the pre-master students do not pass the pre-master program. And to add on that is also the students who we have admitted in the pre-master program, we believe are actually capable of passing the pre-master program. The selection is already actually before the pre-master program starts.
Just a final question to you, Lina. What is the start date of the program?
The start date of the program is 23 of August from the top of my head. That is the date when we will start off with the introduction of the program. So there will be first 2 days getting to know each other, getting to know the group, and students also will be introduced to different elements of the program. So there's a little piece on the academic program, a little bit of group forming, and a little bit on the personal development already in those first days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's clear to me. Hopefully also clear to you. I think I'm coming to the closing remarks. Thank you, Lina, Ilke, for joining me here at the table. I think we provided the information needed to the potential students. For you, thank you for watching this session, to participate in the questions. All the material are being uploaded on the landing page of Nyenrode, and you will get an email in your inbox very soon to link to the landing page. Before saying goodbye, you will get a very short video to bridge this session on the general information on the program and the next session of about 50 minutes of Christo, our admissions officer, to talk about the admissions, the requirements of the application procedure. So thank you very much, and hope to see you next year here on campus. Goodbye.
It's so great to celebrate this with everyone here today, to be finally able to close off this wonderful experience of this year. It's been an amazing journey.
The whole 1.5 year, including the pre-master, was like sort of emotional roller coaster itself. There was a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but eventually there's a certain group of people now that actually can get the diploma in this afternoon.
When you arrived, I saw curious lion cubs. You were curious, you were nervous. Now I don't see the curious little lion cub anymore. I see a proud lion.
The thing which I remember the most is actually the year living on campus and experiencing everything next to the actual program.
I chose Brooklyn because we were entitled to only choose the Brooklyn, and there is an advantage to it because you live on campus and you become friends with every person here. Everyone is happy today that after 18 months we are graduating finally.
The thing that I like the most about full-time MSc is this experience has brought me to somewhere that I couldn't imagine that I would be in this position.
It's just one of the happiest days of my life. You're having this diploma in your hands, you're there on a stage, you feel like it was all worth it.
I decided to join the graduate program of Shell. So next week I will start there in the external relations department. It's time to be an adult and grown up.
Luckily I'm here today and I'm very, very happy to stand here. To future students, I highly recommend Nyenrode. It will be one of the best 1.5 years of your life. It's very inspiring.
Hello everyone, my name is Christo. I'm responsible for the admissions for the MSc program. So if you have any questions, please submit them to the chat and I will attempt to answer them for you. In the meantime, I have received some questions, so we will start looking at that. If you have any questions about how to apply to the program, I would like to refer you to our website or to get in contact with my colleagues from program advisor Ambre Milou, who will be able to assist you as well. So the first question that I have is, do I need to do the GMAT? Of course, you're always welcome to do the GMAT, but it's not necessary. You are welcome to do the LTP test, which is an admissions test that was designed for Nyenrode. The content is similar to the GMAT, but I would say that the preparation time needed is a lot less. If you need more information, again, you can contact Ambro Milou or you can contact the MSc program via telephone, and I will also be able to assist you. The next question that I have is, what score do I need to get for the Nijrode RTP, and what happens if my score is too low? So in order for you to proceed within the admissions process, you have to score a minimum total score of 3. So the maximum you can score is 7, so 3 is somewhere in the middle. At the moment, our selection is designed around selection days. So students predominantly start with the RTP test in the morning, and your scores determine how you move through the process. So if you score below 3, then unfortunately it means that you will not be able to proceed in the admissions process for that on that day. But you would have another option, and that would be to do the GMAT. You would have to score a minimum of 550 on the GMAT. If you score that, you're welcome to contact me again, and we can proceed in the process. The next question I have is there an application fee, and when can I expect my first invoice? At the moment, there is no application fee. Because of the coronavirus, we understand that students are dealing with many other challenges, and we want to give you the opportunity to make informed decisions for the future. So there's no fee at the moment. And when can I expect my first invoice? The first invoice, it will depend whether you have to do the pre-master or the master, but predominantly the invoices will be sent a month before the start of each of those programs. So before you start a program, you would have to pay that invoice. Next question. I haven't done an English proficiency test yet. Can I already be admitted to the program? Yes. At the moment, many of the test centers for the English proficiency is closed due to the coronavirus. And normally we would expect students to have that certificate before the start of the pre-master or the master. But we have extended that time period to the end of the year. So that will give students about 4 months extra to do the English proficiency test. And you will need that certificate before you start the master program. Next question. I haven't completed my bachelor yet. Can I already start my application? Yes, absolutely. And I almost want to help you complete your application. If you need any advice in completing or the documents that you need, please contact Amber or Milou or the MSc office, and I will also be able to assist you with that. How do I find out if I can get exemptions for the pre-master? That's a really good question. Predominantly students who have an academic degree, or in Dutch terms a WO bachelor degree, they will possibly qualify for exemptions. The best thing that you can do is either send your transcripts to me, and I will evaluate that with program management to determine whether you qualify for exemptions from the entire pre-master or only from specific subjects. But that is something that we would have to check. It's not something that I can answer without knowing what your background is. Okay. Then I have another question. It's with regards to housing in Amsterdam. And what is good to know is that students who want to apply for the program in Amsterdam would predominantly be responsible for finding their own accommodation. Nijrode does have a contact with our domain, which is in Diemen South, and we can assist you in arranging accommodation via Diemen South. But it is good to remember that we only have limited space there. So if you choose Amsterdam, my advice would be to start looking early for accommodation, because there are quite many universities in Amsterdam, and so the demand for student housing is quite high. Okay, so let me quickly have a look. Okay, so most of the questions have been answered. If there are any other questions, I would like to ask that you submit any other questions by emailing ftmsc@nijrode.nl or .nl, and my colleagues Amber and Milou will be able to assist you. What I do want to remind you is that we have a business game on the 10th of June. So if you really want to get a taste of what Nijrode is, I would want to ask you to contact the program advisors and register for this program. If you want to get a taste of what it is to be on campus, that's possible, of course. Again, contact Amber Milou, and they will set up a meeting for you either in Breukelen or in Amsterdam. And you can also attend online sessions of classes. So everything is possible. If you really want to get an idea of what Nijrode is, please contact us. We can arrange anything, even in those strange corona times. I would like to thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please get in contact with us. So from Nijrode, from myself, we hope to see you soon on campus and to join you as future Nijrodean. Have a good evening.